What's good, y'all? So today I'm gonna share with you guys a bit of my journey as a personal trainer out here in San Francisco, California. I'm gonna share with you guys how I built my business out here. I've been a personal trainer out here for about the past year and a half. Share with you guys how much money on average I make out here as a personal trainer. And then I'm going to share with you guys what my future plans are and where my personal training business is headed. And first and foremost, I've been out of the Bay Area before I came back to San Francisco. Before I came back to the San Francisco Bay Area, I was out of the Bay Area for about 10 years. I lived in Japan for about 3 years. I then moved to Hawaii for about 4.5 years, and then I traveled around a bit for I don't know a couple years after that. And give or take, I was in these different locations. A couple times I popped back into the Bay Area for like 6 months at a time, but that was maybe two occasions in that last 10-year stretch. But when I got to Hawaii, I developed a movement practice and I got very proficient at that movement practice. I also started a YouTube channel, which you guys are watching right now. And because of that YouTube channel, kind of inspired me. A lot of people reached out to me, asked me a lot of questions about fitness in general, my fitness journey, suggestions, workout plans, X, Y, and Z. So I decided to start an online training business. Online training business went pretty well. Actually allowed me to travel for a couple of years. I was down in Brazil and Argentina for a while, traveled around Europe, traveled back into Asia, was in the Middle East for a hot second as well. Had a great time traveling, came back to the Bay Area, wanted to settle down. So I decided to start doing in-person personal training. Now, one of the things I did, and maybe this is actually almost one of the things that got me to move back out to the Bay Area. I was out visiting the Bay Area and I just decided to see the possibilities were like to be an in-person personal trainer. So I decided to go to the richest neighborhood that I could think of, which is the Marina District in San Francisco, and go to the most expensive gym that I can find in that neighborhood. And I'll share with you guys that gym. It's the Equinox. So I decided to go into the Equinox and see what it's like to be a personal trainer, what's the possibilities as far as how much do people charge for personal training out here, how easy it is to build clients, X, Y, and Z. So I did a little bit of research online as well. So I went on YouTube, of course, checked out some videos about people who had experience being trainers at Equinox. And then I decided to go down to Equinox. And when I went to Equinox, um, the personal training manager wasn't there, but I hit him up, I think text message or email or something like that. He got back to me within a day. So then me and him end up setting up a meeting. I told him I just wanted kind of like a informative meeting. It wasn't even necessarily a meeting where I was looking to get a job. I wasn't like applying for a job or whatever. So I ended up setting up this meeting, chopped it up with this dude. He ended up kind of asking me a bunch of questions, interview style. And then at the end of the meeting, he ended up offering me a job. I told him, hey, look, I got a couple more months of traveling, already booked tickets, and already have like destinations that I'm getting ready to go to, but I'm down to come back and work as a personal trainer. One of the things that was appealing to me was the pay rate and how basically with Equinox, it was like, okay, if you push more client sessions, then you're going to end up making more money. So basically, your pay increases per session count that you have. So you need to train X amount of people in a month, and then your rate might go from $40 an hour all the way to like $75 an hour or something like that. That ended up, after a while, I figured out that they're actually getting over on you super hard. And this is just something that comes with not having experience in personal training in person and not realizing my own value as a personal trainer as well. I always look at personal training, and I still look at personal training as a luxury service. So that is one of the reasons why I wanted to find the most expensive, most wealthy neighborhood to personal training, because I wanted to go to a neighborhood where people could afford personal training as a service, and a neighborhood where people also valued their health and wellness. So the Marina District was a perfect location for me. And if you guys have ever been out to San Francisco, you know, the Marina District, people care about the way they look. People, you know, have money, and people are out, you know, most people are out wearing Lululemon and Viore and all these other athleisure brands anyway. So they want to look good in their clothes anyway. So that's the reason why they go to gyms like Equinox or Bay Club or whatever it may be. But anyways, so long story short, I start working at Equinox. Cool manager, you know. My manager was cool. He kind of let me do my thing, and for me, I was super hungry to get clients. So he laced me up in terms of different ways to find leads, and he also gave me leads, and then he also suggested different ways that I get leads in general. So one of the ways that I got leads through Equinox, which was great, was they have membership advisors. They give you like free training sessions with new members. And that way, when the new members come in, you give them a free training session, but then you use that time to try to sell them on personal training. So if there's somebody who needs personal training, you can, so, give them your sales pitch, tell them the reason why they need personal training, this, that, and the third. And if you can get, the cool thing about Equinox as well is, when you first start out, they give you bonuses. So if you can sign up X amount of people within the first month, they give you a bonus. And if you can sign up X amount of people in your second and third month, they give you a couple bonuses as well. So I hit all my bonuses. I was hungry. But I would say the most important way that I got leads was learning how to talk to people on the floor. So I was working at the gym and I was just approaching members like, hey, have you, thought about personal training? And my style, some people want to come up and, help people with their workouts or this, that, and the third, or make small talk or anything like that. My style was a little bit different. My style was more so just being upfront and out in the open with what I was trying to do, basically selling personal training. I tell them, have you signed up for your free sessions? And then by getting them in on some free sessions, my plan was to show them how good my service is and then pitch them why they need or why they should be training with me, X, Y, and Z. So that was I was very successful with that. And I built up a good client base when I first got to the gym or whatever it may be. I was still in the process of learning a lot as well. That's one thing about online training versus personal training. It's very different. And then even training yourself, like you could be somebody who's in great shape, who's great at calisthenics or great at weightlifting or whatever it may be. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be good at teaching whatever you do, first and foremost. And second off, when you're dealing with people, their bodies work different than you. They're going to be in a different age demographic, sometimes a different gender, whatever it may be. So you have to learn how to work with different people. And I think training people in person has actually taught me how to deal with people or how to find more success in helping people transform their bodies in whatever way that they're trying to transform their bodies, be it trying to get stability, endurance, aesthetics, whatever it may be, weight loss or whatever it may be. I've learned how to do that over the time. And that's one thing I think is valuable about going and working in a box gym. But I think once you get to a certain point of working in that box gym, it's time to dip out. Like your earning potential is stymied so much by working in a box gym, it's not funny. They try to sell you on this whole thing at Equinox about how you can make up to $140,000 a year as an Equinox trainer. Let me tell you, if you make $140,000 a year as an Equinox trainer, that means you are absolutely slaving. I'm talking about slaving. You ain't getting no sleep. You're not going to be able to get your own workouts in. And, you're just not going to be able to have very much of a social life in general because you're going to be on the grind so much. Trust me. I work with this one cat right now, or I worked with this one cat who basically hits like, he's like one of these guys who has the most amount of clients in California or the West Coast or something like that as an Equinox trainer. And I would tell you that I don't know if he's making 140K or I don't know how much he's making, but he's either making less money than I do and I work half as much as he does, or we're making about the same amount of money. So you can make way more money doing way less work if you have a private training practice. And I'm going to get into that in a few minutes. So Another good thing about Equinox is it's a place, or just any gym, high end gym in whatever area that you're in. It's a good place to meet people, build a social network, make friends, also develop a network of clients. I've developed, man, first off, I would say having a job at the Equinox has brought me a bunch of different things. Number one, I've developed a lot of relationships with trainers. I've developed a lot of relationships with great clients. I've developed a lot of relationships with just people in the city of San Francisco. And it's been a blessing in that way. And on top of that, I found my relationship in Equinox as well. I met my girlfriend in Equinox. And that's one thing I actually would advise you not to do. Date too much at work. You know, I've always been somebody who's had a rule of not dating where I work, basically not shitting where I eat or shitting where I make money or whatever it may be. And I kept that rule for probably like the first, I don't know, like 5 months or something like that. But then I seen my girl and I was like, man, I got it. I got to have her. So then I ended up chopping up with her. I was straight up with her too. Just like how I was straight up with people about personal training or whatever I mean, I was straight up with her. I didn't come to her with like some trying to get her on some personal training stuff. I was just like, hey, look, are you dating somebody? Yada yada yada. Anyways, I don't want to sidetrack on my relationship, but anyways, met my girlfriend there. That was great, and you know, things have been wonderful in that regards in my life. So I'm very thankful for Equinox for introducing me to her. But anyways, when it comes down to making money, you're gonna run into a certain type of clientele in Equinox. You got people there who got new money, you got people there who got old money. Regardless, these are people who can be very beneficial for you financially. And then you're gonna end up meeting people who you vibe with as well. And this is probably my number one pointer when it comes down to like clients. Don't even take on clients who you don't have a good rapport with. Don't, or it's not even about taking on clients. You can take on clients and see if you have a good rapport with them, but don't keep clients who you don't have a good rapport with. Because at the end of the day, there's only so many hours in the day. And there's going to be premium time slots that you have as a personal trainer where you're always going to be booked up. I would say between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., you're always going to be booked up. And I would say between like 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., you're always going to be booked up as well. So make sure you just don't give those valuable time slots to any Joe Schmo off the streets that you can't have a good conversation with, that doesn't believe in your skill set, that doesn't want to follow your program to a T, that doesn't love working with you, because there's going to be people out there who do love working with you, who do believe in what you're teaching, and who you do have a good rapport with, and who you can get along with, and you know, have great conversations, and they make the day fly by as well. So for me, I've also been blessed enough to have a great client base, met a bunch of good clients, met a bunch of great clients, and am even blessed for them to introduce me to more clients. And this is probably the best way that I've been building my business lately, because now I honestly don't really do that much outreach. I don't necessarily try to, you know, talk to random people and get them to uh, sign up for a free session or anything like that. I don't really give free sessions anymore because I've gotten to the point where I've built a reputation for myself and people reach out to me to work with me. And I don't even really market myself like that. Some of my clients will actually hook me up with their friends and tell their friends how great it is to train with me. And then they'll start training with me as well. And then that is kind of like a snowball effect of them telling other people to train with me, and this, that, and the third. So once you get your business rolling, it's easier to keep clients coming in. That's if you are a good personal trainer, because I've seen, for the most part, most personal trainers are not very good. Most personal trainers don't actually care about their clients. You actually need to care about these people, and you actually need to take it personally if they succeed or if they don't succeed. So it's going to give you more incentive to do a better job. And if you have that mentality with personal trainer or whatever service that you provide, people are going to see that, people are going to value that, and people are going to be willing to pay whatever for that. The going rate for personal training out here in San Francisco, at least at the Equinox, is about anywhere from $125 a session to $140 a session. And if you're a private trainer training outside of Equinox, you can make even more money than that. Some people charge 160, some people charge 150. Personally, I charge $140 per hour for personal training, and I train people at a private gym now. And here's where your earning potential, here's a little bit more insight into how much money you can make as a personal trainer. You charge $140 per hour as a personal trainer. There's tons of personal training gyms around San Francisco. You can work out at pretty much all of them if you want. All you have to do is just show them that you have liability insurance as a personal trainer. You also have to show them that you have a personal training certification. And then, obviously tell them, hey, look, I'm bringing clientele into your gym, so I'm going to make you money. Because private training gyms are pretty much like barbershops, and trainers will pay for the space in that gym like a barber pays for a barber chair in a barbershop. So you're going to have to pay per session. Every gym charges a different price. I'd say out here I've seen anywhere from like $25 per session all the way to like $42 per session. 42 being extremely expensive, and to me the gym wasn't even worth paying that much money anyways. The place I go to, a couple places I go to are between like 25 and $30 per hour. Are they my ideal gyms to train people? Not necessarily. Are they pretty functional where I can train people the way that I need to train people? Yes, I can get done pretty much. I'm a minimalist anyways in life. And when it comes down to training, same thing. I train mostly calisthenics, stability work. Mostly the stuff that I even use weights with my client is all lower body work. And that's kind of my philosophy in general. You can actually do everything you need to do upper body wise with your own body weight. Lower body, I'm a firm believer in adding weights and lifting weights, especially single leg exercise. But anyways, that's another video for another day as well. But anyways, so if you do the math on how much money you can make per session, you just take $140, you minus whatever your gym fees are. I don't pay more than $30 for a gym fee. So for me, it's going to be $110 per hour. Some people want to train more than an hour. Some people want to do an hour and a half. I charge $200 for an hour and a half. So I would say my personal training business brings me in, because I train private clients, brings me in probably about $2,500 per week. And I don't even have to work that much. And I'm not going to say I don't have to work that much, because I do work a lot. Let me rephrase that many hours in a day. So you don't need to work that many hours in a day, but you do need to pretty much be around the gym all day. Like I said, I train from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I do have some breaks in between on my schedule, so I get free time to do other things. And actually, because I've set my schedule up in a certain way, now I have time to make YouTube videos. Now I have time to create content. I have more time to focus on my own personal training, which I'm in the middle of making kind of some adjustments into the way I train myself. And that's just because I'm approaching 40. I do a lot of calisthenics. I do a lot of running. I used to have the mentality of doing resistance training 7 days per week. I don't have that mentality anymore. I still have the mentality of moving my body and doing some form of training 7 days per week, but now it's more so 3-4 days per week resistance training, cardio 3 days a week at least, and then doing a lot of mobility and a lot of things that, I just recently started working with a chiropractor who's shown me a few things about longevity, and that's shifting my perspective as well. So another thing as a personal trainer is you're always going to be on this lifelong journey of growth and learning more about your practice. You're never a expert on anything. You're never an expert, even the things that you might specialize in. I specialize in calisthenics and stability training. I'm learning new things every day about both. You know what I mean? I've been able to do high level things as a calisthenics athlete. I've also been able to coach people into being able to do handstands, muscle ups, weighted dips, doing weighted dips and pull-ups from not being able to do a weighted pull-up at all, and not being able to do a dip at all, to being able to do weighted dips and pull-ups with a significant amount of weight. So I've been able to coach people up really good, but at the same time I'm still learning so much, and I'm always kind of morphing my practice into something new. So with all this being said, like I said, let's just say, for instance, you're a successful trainer out here in San Francisco. There's people out here who are making way more money than me. There's a guy that I works at the same private gym. This guy's training like two people at a time all day long. Probably has like 2 hours break in the middle of the day. But he's up at 6 a.m. I see him when I come in, and he's leaving at like 5 or 6 p.m. as well. And he's training a couple people at a time sometimes. So that's even a higher rate. Some people are probably making 15 to, you know, maybe even more than that, 15K or even more than that per month, maybe 17,000, depending on what they're charging. And this guy charges a higher rate than me as well. He's been a trainer out here for longer, so he's demanding a little bit higher of a rate. And that's one thing I also would say. You have to know yourself, know how proficient you are at your craft. And once you get to a point where you know that you're very proficient, you have to have the confidence to charge people what you believe that you're worth. And I would say that was the transition that was actually the hardest for me, because I'm from the East Bay. Like, people don't spend this type of money on personal training. So my idea and my concept of how much my service is worth needed to adjust to the new environment that I'm in. I pay $3,000 a month for rent for my apartment. And, that doesn't include utilities. That doesn't include a parking spot. So it costs a lot of money to live in San Francisco. So at the end of the day, you need to charge for yourself to live a comfortable life. You need to be able to have a good life out here as well. And if your service is valuable, you need to have the confidence to charge a good amount of money for your service. Now, where am I going with my business in the future? And this is probably the part I'll make the briefest. I've talked about this before on my channel about opening up a gym. Before, I thought I would open up a gym that would be like a membership gym. I wanted to open up a calisthenics gym, and I still want to open up a calisthenics gym, except my gym is going to be a private gym where myself and other trainers only train private clients. But the gym is going to be set up for calisthenics and stabilization training and athletic training. Basically, it's going to be a functional gym for private clients. The name of my channel here is Hybrid Athlete. The name of my business for in-person training is Hybrid Athlete. I'm a firm believer in training in a hybrid way to be as functional as possible. That's mobility, that's endurance, that's stability, that's strength, that's power, being the best athlete that we can. And this is going to give us the most longevity, and it's going to give us the best quality of life. But anyways, that's where I'm going next with my business, is opening up my own gym out here. Now, there's a lot of game to learn with that too. And I'm still in the process of learning that. And I'm not actually even rushing into that process, because this is the next part of the game that I'm learning. And this doesn't have anything to do with actual personal training. This is more so learning how to be a real brick and mortar business in a city that I've just moved to about a year and a half ago. So you don't want to rush into these type of things. You want to get as much game as possible. I feel like I've learned the game on personal training. That's the reason why I'm sharing with you guys the game of personal training. So basically, if you was to break it down into steps, it's like step 1, develop a skill set. Step 2, find a high earning environment to practice that skill set. Step 3, build a network of clients, build a network of just individuals who know you and know that you're good at your craft, so they can kind of let people know who you are via word of mouth. Step 3, start training people privately. You want to train private clients. That be the way you can increase your earning potential as a personal trainer. Step 4 would be, you don't even need to do too much as a personal trainer. You just hone your craft and you just get better at what you do, and you learn from other personal trainers around you to make you a better personal trainer and a better, what you would consider a solopreneur, because you don't have any employees. So you're not necessarily on the entrepreneur hype, but you're a solopreneur. So you want to learn how to be the best and most efficient solopreneur business wise. What's the best private gym to train at? How can I get my clients to introduce me to their friends so I can have more potential clients and kind of build a snowball effect when it comes down to that? And then the next step is to eventually, own your own gym. If that's something that you even want to do, there's plenty of people here who have been solopreneur, entrepreneur trainers, and they make a great living and they don't have to have the headache of running their own gym. Personally, I'm always somebody who wants to grow, expand, challenge myself. So opening up a gym is something I want to do. And I kind of want to bring everybody together and create a community of people who have that same movement practice as me and who have a similar mindset as me in different things of that nature. So I say that's probably the next that is the next step for me, and that would be probably be the next step for anybody who kind of wants to go move in the same manner that I've moved in since I've moved out here to San Francisco. Personal training, in my opinion, is a lucrative business. Let's say, for instance, you live in a place that doesn't have as high a cost of living as San Francisco. You don't necessarily need to charge $140 an hour. Like, everything in San Francisco is expensive, from rent to food to car insurance. Man, car insurance is crazy out here. I'm somebody with a good record driving wise. I'm 39 years old. I'm not 22-year-old kid. And my car insurance is like $250 a month. It's crazy. You know what I mean? But because it's in San Francisco, they charge a premium for car insurance. When I was living in Hawaii, my car insurance was like $99 for $100 or something like that. Crazy difference, $150 difference, but it's just from where you live. But on the back end of that, my earning potential is so much higher living in a city like San Francisco. And, I think I saw a statistic on the internet the other day, and it was basically showing how many other states in the United States have a smaller economy than the city of San Francisco. And I think, like, the city of San Francisco has a bigger economy than like 45 other states in the United States. So this is where the money is at. The world is heading digital. You know what I mean? This is the epicenter and the hub of tech in the world, not just in the United States, in the world. This is the epicenter of tech right here. You know what I mean? All the big companies is here. So there's gonna be money in San Francisco for time to come. So for me, that's one of the reasons why I decided to move here. New York is another place. It's always going, have a big economy. It's always going to be money out there. You're going to have high earners in that area. So I think as a personal trainer, you want to go to the cities that are a little bit more expensive to live in. You want to go to the cities where you have more wealthy, well-off people, even some of the younger people here who maybe not wealthy, but they earn $200,000 a year. You know what I mean? They can afford personal training. For myself, I don't even earn $200,000 a year. I'm, like I said, if I had to give you a ballpark on how much I make as a personal trainer, it's like 10K a month. But for me, even at 10K a month, I can afford I pay for a chiropractor, you know what I mean? And that dude charges $200 an hour. And I find the service valuable, so I'm willing to spend that type of money. And that, to me, is another luxury service. It's a luxury health service that's healing yourself in a certain way. But at the same thing with personal training, but at the same time, most people can't afford that. So you got to keep that in mind as a personal trainer. You need to be in a lucrative environment to where, let's say, for instance, we go into like a recession, it's still going to be people with money in San Francisco. You want to develop a network of clients who have old money, you know what I mean? And who these people are doing so well that it's like, even during the financial hard times for them, or for most people, they're still like, oh, I can't miss out on my personal training. Like, man, one of the things I say that I've been blessed enough to do is develop good enough relationships with people to where they view my service not only physically healing, but mentally and spiritually healing as well. They just like to spend time with me. Some of my clients are just like, man, I just like spending time with you because of the person that you are. And I tell all my friends, actually, I'm going to tell you a conversation I had with one of my clients the other day. She's told me, she was like, you're such a great trainer. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I'm just saying, you want to develop this type of rapport with people. She said, you're such a great trainer, but it's not just the training, it's the person that you are. I really enjoy being around you, and you're such a good person. And she was telling me about how she referred her friends to me, and they were like, man, is this guy really that good? But then when they started training with me, they were like, I get it now. Like, I get why you like training with JD. You know what I mean? So you want to build those type of relationships with your clients. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. I really just wanted to share with you guys my journey as a personal trainer. Since I've been out here in San Francisco, I've been able to develop a successful personal training business, been able to develop a great network of not only just clients, some of these people I look at as friends as well, and people who I care about. I genuinely care about these people, and you want to develop such a good rapport with these people, with your clientele, that they genuinely care about you as well. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And for me personally, I think if you put the right type of energy into anything, you're going to be successful. If you actually care about the service that you're providing, you're going to be successful at it, because you're always going to be looking to get better at it. And you're going to care about delivering a good product to the people who you are providing a service for. And then, like I said, it's a snowball effect from there. Anyways, guys, if you guys are looking to if you guys are new to body weight training or new to training in general, and one of your goals is to be able to do a pull up, I've got a free pull up program for you. Click the link in the description box. You can go to my website. It's download the free pull up 12-week program. And I guarantee you, if you follow that program to a T, within 12 weeks, you go from not being able to do a pull up to being able to do a pull up. I have video examples in that program, and it's extensive, and I provide a lot of cues and explanations on how to do the workouts and everything like that. So check out the program. It's free, and no reason not to download it. Anyways, and while you're on the website, check out some of the other programs I have. If you're in San Francisco and you're looking for a personal trainer, book me for personal training. Holla at you guys later. I hope everybody's having a great day out there. Happy Sunday. Peace.